More optimistic about Alberta's future now than I've ever been in my entire career.
Hi, you're watching Global Energy Show's 5x5. I'm Rachel Gregory, and joining me today is Iggy Domagalski, CEO of Tundra Process Solutions and a notable business leader. Iggy, thank you so much for taking the opportunity to chat.
Well, thank you for having me, Rachel. Excited to be here.
You are a recognized top 40 under 40, top 50 most inspirational Canadian entrepreneurs. Can you tell us about your entrepreneurial journey and how this led to the eventual creation of Tundra Process Solutions?
The awards are they're kind of fun little things along the journey. They're just little moments and specks in time. The real fun is the whole journey. I've loved business ever since I was a little kid. I had my first small business when I was 12 years old. I went to business school and have had a chance to work with some really great people and be a part of some pretty cool companies along the way. Tundra is a pretty cool story. I did not start Tundra. Me and a partner bought in 15 years ago. It was a pretty small company back then, and over the last 15 years, really, we just spent a lot of time and effort into organically growing the company, doing a couple small acquisitions along the way. We're a company that sells and services industrial process equipment. And in order to sell great equipment, you have to have really, really great partners and manufacturing partners. And we're lucky along the way to partner up with just some of the absolute best in the industry, like Toshiba and ABB and Ferris and MSA and Cleaver Brooks. If there is a secret to any of the success that we've had, it's certainly been just hiring the absolute best people we can and giving them the freedom to do what they're great at.
You mentioned the people, and it's no secret that you built an incredible corporate culture. So can you tell us more about how you are personally involved in guiding the dynamic corporate culture at Tundra? And is it true that even your employees' pets get recognized and receive yummy treats over the holidays?
That is true, actually. I think it's just important to really bring not just the people in your company into your culture, but also their families. The people in our company are the most important thing that we have. And if they all chose not to come back tomorrow for some reason, there would be no Tundra. Ultimately, I think for us, it starts with communication and trust, especially during the last year throughout this pandemic. And then I think part of culture is built on transparency, sharing where we're going and why we're going there. And then, of course, we like fun too. So we like to have fun things.
Earlier this year, Wajax acquired Tundra Solutions. Congratulations, that's very exciting. How will this change things over at Tundra in the next year, and what can your customers expect?
So it was like right at the peak of COVID when everything was the scariest and there was the most unknowns. I got a call from Mark Foote, who is the CEO of Wajax. And he said, hey, we've been looking at you guys from afar for a long time. It's very interesting times right now. And, sometimes interesting things can happen during interesting times. Would you be open to starting a dialogue around a potential acquisition? And when we actually looked into it, the Tundra business and the Wajax business were 100% complementary. I've never met the leadership team from Wajax in person and still haven't. So the entire transaction was done over Zoom. The message that Wajax gave to me and Tundra was that, we're buying you because we like you. We're buying you because we think you're a good company and we believe that you do things in a good way, and we don't want to wreck that. We don't want to change that. So for the most part, we're just going to leave you alone. There's a few things that we'll have to integrate. Wajax has just a phenomenal safety program and a few other IT programs that are just far more advanced than Tundra's were. The way that you actually do business, your customer relationships, supplier relationships, operations, service, all of those things, nothing's changing there, and your products aren't changing. It's all the same, and we want to leave that as is.
There's a lot of talk about reducing greenhouse gas emissions and achieving net zero by 2050, including here in Canada. What are your thoughts on this as an opportunity for Alberta and Canada to be part of this energy transition journey?
I am more optimistic about Alberta's future now than I've ever been in my entire career. I think Canada is positioned quite well in the world energy forum. The story that we have to tell about the fossil fuels that we create are made to the highest standards of anywhere in the world is a good story that we're starting to get better at telling. And natural gas, I believe, will be just a huge player for the next 20, 30 years. I think at any time the world produces less emissions, that's a good thing. Tundra is 22 years old, and really since the beginning of Tundra's life, we've been offering products that do that.
So I have to ask, what's next in the future for you and for Tundra? I know our viewers would be really excited to hear from you as to what's next to come.
I really love my job. I feel privileged to be able to lead a pretty neat company with a lot of really, really great people that I like working with. So I like coming to work every day, even if it is in my home office with a Murphy bed behind me. Our plan really is to continue to grow. For the last 12 years, we've grown an average of 28% every year. Now we just have a bigger partner behind us, so we'll be able to do even more. We'd like to acquire more companies. We're hiring in some of the areas in our business.
Great to hear about Tundra and your culture and just how you are putting it all together and navigating through this crazy year. So thank you again for taking the time to sit down with me today.
Well, thank you, Rachel. It was a pleasure spending time with you.